Welcome to the Smoking Word. Welcome to the.
What's up, everybody? Once again, we back. The Smokin Word podcast is brought to you by CasaDeRock.com. That's my merch spot. Go support the show, support me. Just support yourself by copping some merch. We have a lot of new stuff. We actually got 2 designs on clearance right now for $15. So get those. They're almost all out. We're making room for the new. So, and thanks everybody who's been copping merch and all that stuff. And everybody who copped the decks, they're coming. So we got you. But anyway, CasaDeRock.com is the spot. You can also follow me at Hoya Rock 357 on Instagram. We're going to have a lot of new news coming up, a lot of new Casa de Rock news, a lot of Smokin Word news, and a lot of new Madball news. So working on our 10th album as we speak. So look out for that. So also follow us on our Apple Music, Spotify, and YouTube. And like I always say, it doesn't count unless you subscribe. We got to let everybody know that we out here making noise. But yo, subscribe, share, repost, talk about it, all that good shit. And today, I figured I'd do something a little bit fun. I figured I'd dedicate this podcast. I always dedicate my podcast to hardcore music and lifestyle, but this one is dedicated to the low-end hustlers of the New York hardcore scene. So I figured, who better than 2 of my oldest and very, very close brothers, Mike Gallo, Craig Ahead. Let's set this shit off.
Welcome to the Smoking Word.
So, yo, Gallo, welcome to the Smokin Word podcast. This is the low-end episode, the low-end hustler episode. So I figured, you know how we do.
Face Mafia in the house.
That's right. I said it's time that the most popular and unappreciated and most underrated instrument in music history, we dedicate a whole episode to, the bass was made. It's a fact. God took off 4 of his hairs, 4 of them, and made the first bass.
Not off my head, Ian.
That's why Toby's a singer, because, hold on. Craig, are you here? Are you with us?
Yeah, I'm with you. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, you rocking now, but your earphone thing looks like you got a sombrero on.
Yeah. That's a new style of beard, son.
Yo, there you go. Yo, he had a sombrero. Yo, Craig, welcome to the Smokin Word, the low-end hustler episode. You know what? Again, I said we got to represent for everywhere. Of course, we represent hardcore music in general, but specifically on this one, New York hardcore, and not just New York hardcore, but how important we had to give the bass a little bit of shine on this episode, because it's time to represent is an underrated, unappreciated at times instrument, and a very important one in hardcore music. All jokes aside, the bass was always very important in hardcore music.
In all music, but particularly in hardcore R&B. I mean,
Of course. So, but I said, let me catch up with you guys anyway. And I haven't seen you guys in a second, so I had an excuse.
Yeah. I'm excited about this.
Yeah.
The fact that you didn't tell me that Gallo's going to be on is great, because now I'm all really
Oh, that wasn't enough for you? Oh, I'm sorry.
No. Don't get me wrong.
Listen.
I just had 4 espressos. I'm flying. And
I know. No, but I figured, I wanted to catch you guys. I figured to catch up and also see what's going on. So, we all been hitting all these podcasts, and that's why I figured also, I was like, everybody knows how we all got into the music and all that kind of shit. Yeah. So I don't want to get in that go that direction, but to catch up anyway, like what do you guys been doing? Forget obviously since the pandemic, all types of shit, but in the last month, let's just take it from that. Gallo, the last month, what's been your activities? What you been up to?
Oh man, it's like Groundhog Day every day over here. I'm Bill Murray over here, you know.
Same shit then. So you're pretty much same, yeah.
More garlic.
More garlic. Yeah, you know, I mean, it's unfortunately my daughter's school got closed down. One of her teachers got COVID.
Yeah.
So I got my hands full with that little animal.
Oh.
When I'm not with her, you know, I mean, I'm actually been taking the art thing to another level and making furniture.
I was saying that, and I know.
Wow.
Yeah, and I remember when you were talking about it before you started pushing it online that you were going to start doing the furniture. So that's dope. How's that going?
It's going. It's taking forever because me and the guy I'm doing it with are two morons trying to make stuff.
Do you have experience in how to make furniture? Or is it a new skill you're learning?
I basically come up with the idea, and I got another guy who does a lot of the building, you know, but he don't know what the fuck he's doing. It's all experiment. We got two hardcore morons trying to make furniture.
Yeah, I know a couple guys that make furniture. That's a skill, man.
It is. It's hard. It's because it's a lot of things. You fuck one thing up, and then you got to start all over. But the thing is, I'm mixing art. I'm smart. But we're mixing my art and furniture together. Like we're working on a big cassette tape table. That's pretty dope. Like the front goes in, you put books in it. It's really dope. It's really cool. But it's like almost done. We just keep getting those finishing touches. So we're doing shit like that. We're doing I'm doing all sorts of stuff. You know, just trying to keep busy with the art. Thank God it's been keeping me alive. You know.
Any music?
So, yeah, I started working on some music again. I talked to Roger, and he's like, you know, let's get. I mean, it sucks. We just dropped our record.
I know.
And then COVID hit, so we like put our fucking hearts and soul into that record, and then, you know, COVID hit, and that was it. So like, it was like fuck, like the record's like you know, nobody even knows it's out there besides whatever videos. But we might want to maybe do so maybe like reissue it, you know, put a few new tracks on.
Repackage this shit and throw it right back out there. Fuck it.
Yeah. So
Craig.
Resurface.
Yeah. Craig, what about you? Last month we all know everybody. You know, everybody's been fucking shot. My day's like what Gallo said. Literally, I fucking make lunch for my kids every day. I count calories every day, and I complain about being bored every day.
You look good. Let me just say, you look good. I almost don't recognize that.
I know.
This guy took over Hoya. Who's this guy took over Hoya's podcast? You look great, man. I'm proud of you. You're doing great.
Thank you. Not just grinding. You know, we talk about it. Just grinding. But
the last month, I've been working out a lot. You know, like now that I'm not always on tour and tired, because you know the deal. We'd be on tour 8 months out of the year. And you come home, you don't want to work out.
Yeah,
you're on the road, your
takes
body.
You 2 weeks to get normal.
Yeah, you're traveling, you're tired. The stage is taking it out of you. So I've been working out. I do calisthenics. I lift weights. I hike. I walk. So, you know, I got muscles again.
Yeah,
it's coming back. It's coming back. It's good. It's good. And that's about it. I play the bass a lot. You know, I work on my bass playing. I said this in a couple other things I did, but I've rediscovered my love of the instrument, and I've improved a lot technically. Like I worked on a lot of theoretical stuff and kind of drilling into my head things to make I always could navigate the neck pretty well. You guys know I could play all right, but now I took it to another level, and I'm a much better bass player for it. So it's cool. All the things that I always like to do, I have time to do now. So that's a positive in all this negativity, you know?
Yeah, I know I was getting bored because you guys know I'm not really one of those guys. When I jam at home, I'm usually writing. And if I write, like you guys know, I do it on guitar.
Yeah, I saw that. We're going to let that go. But
listen,
for the photos, grab the bass. I understand. We all understand.
Listen, back in the day, I used to put distortion because I needed to hear palm muting. So I would put distortion on the bass so I could hear palm muting. And But it's anyway, I knew I was getting bored when I found myself, let me jam my songs to practice my songs. You know, I play the videos and jam.
Yeah.
But I was having fun with it. I started having fun playing bass, like for fun, like jamming.
Yeah.
Even though I wasn't writing, I had fun jamming with it. And I'm going to try to fucking, you know, I mainly write on guitar, but I might try to write a track on a bass, like to see just what comes out. But I can't, it's hard for me to picture. I'm a gorilla. So I need you to say like, this is what it's gonna look like, not like show me the stone and say, do you see? You can imagine.
I play when I write now. The last bunch of years, it's been on bass, but when I was younger, it was always on guitar because it's more colorful and alive on guitar. You could tell what it's gonna sound like.
That's what I
playing it on the bass. But over time, I've gotten used to playing. And I write on an acoustic bass now.
Yeah, I know. I've been in your house,
But it's weird though. It's so fun. You guys should both get one. They're so fun, and you play so much better. It makes I could just go crazy on that thing, and I'm like, wow, I'm 100 times better on an acoustic for whatever reason. But I write on that a lot now, and it just over time I developed doing that. I got to plug the guitar in with the acoustic bass. I just pick it up and go.
I think part of it for me was too why I started to the guitar. I wanted to hear a bigger picture like that because I was
totally.
But also, I'm one of those guys when I write, I don't want if I'm showing you a riff. I'm not one of the guys that are like, okay, imagine I'm gonna play you this riff, but you gotta imagine the guitars and that. No, I gotta give you the whole.
You want to jump.
I want it to be like almost what you're gonna hear on the album. Like I just can't help it but put all bells and whistles. My demos are funny because I got so many bells and whistles. It's almost like I use every effect.
Off. But you go all out. That's good. Like you're technically and electronically like what's up. Like hey, I'm like a
but that's what it is. But my secret is this: I am and I ain't. I just throw everything in and then I start stripping, and then I find like, this, So it's kind of like just it's a guerrilla way of working, and I do that with drum beats. I'll do a drum loop, let's say a double bass.
I'm so bad with that.
But let's say a double bass beat. A double bass beat.
I just throw everything at Jerry Farley. I'm like, Jerry, help me out.
Double bass beat is digga, 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 right? I'll just start hitting it. I'll start deleting the kick. So it'll be like digga, 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 and then I'll put a snare on it. And
that's patience.
Flavor. You're all flavor.
Yeah. It's flavor that came from also being a part moron that I didn't know how to actually do it.
So you're something. You're good.
It's basically.
I hear what you're saying. In other words, we come from real basic stuff. We're not like these technical dudes.
Yeah.
But you found a thing that really works. I mean, just let me give you props for a minute. And Gallo, you know this. I always say to people that ask me about bands and stuff, and I say, like Madball, like Hoya and Madball, they kind of got their own thing going on. There's a level of real perfection there that people don't realize in hardcore that, other bands, we barrel through stuff. You are very particular with very small things. And as a musician, people understand that you're very, very selective and you're very critical in a way that makes things really shine. And that for hardcore is a very unique take that almost no bands really have.
Thank you. But part of it was because, I'm more technical with a feel than with my hands, so I had to improvise. So I always used to say like how dance hall was, dance hall would have a double time beat and then they'll drop it to boom, boom. And then I'm like, man, I like when shit breaks down. How can we make that feel like that? So I would do it the most primitive way, but you'd get the hint. And then, thank God for like back then, like Matty Henderson, because I would give a very, very, a rough idea, but Matty would hear it and then he could dress it up and be like, okay, that's the proper way to play it. But, and I was good at talking music.
I remember when I first started playing with Matty, I was like, this kid can play. Like, I was like, whoa, this kid's good. Yeah. And he was really good. And back then I was the guy kind of showing him the not really the bigger picture, but like the writing an album thing. Yeah, I was like always the guy who had done it for a long time. So like, but he was very, he would shape stuff really well. He was very technically good, more so than me, I was seeing the big picture and he was same thing you're saying. He's on point, Matty. Matter of fact, I talked to him yesterday for like an hour.
Yeah, he's a white boy with soul. And he comes from a place and from a background that shouldn't have soul. But but he got it.
He's like a Clinton almost.
Yeah, he has a saxophone somewhere in his background.
Yeah.
But listen,
you know what it is with you? You got like some kind of Hoya. You got some kind of Latin flavor with the beat, the way it swings, and that's really a nice little addition into this thing we do.
It shows.
No, but you know what it is?
Shows.
It's Queens. And what I mean that all jokes aside, you know that it's the vibes on the, you know, Long Island Queens is that on the street.
Corona Groove Metal.
Corona Groove Metal. Shout out to Will Shepler.
That's some old.
Right, you know what it was? There was always that, but then you always had club music, Spanish music, hip hop music. And cars blasting it. So, you know, as a kid, you're hanging, the car passes by, the first thing you do, you bop your head, right? You're hanging out with the guys and you hear a car pass by, oh shit. And then you kind of start, it's just the background music, if you like it or not. You know how it works.
In your stuff, you have a level of polish, though, you know, since it's still so aggressive and hard hitting, unless you really look close, people might not notice that. But there's a level of polish and smoothness in how the beats transition, a drum bass thing, that most people in hardcore don't realize, you know.
You know what it is? Also, today, everybody, I think hardcore is in a good spot where that people get it now. You know, in the early days, you know, dudes were there's more experience out there, knowledge picked up. So now you see the newest band, they fucking are tight as fuck.
They rip.
They kill or whatever and all that. It's different. So we're lucky, you know, we were close to the source and we were lucky to find the right people and be around the right moments to pick up the right. Okay, what do we have?
Well, Big Dave, your brother Dave, Big Dave, you know.
All right, let me ask you this because
opening that one up.
Listen, we all know Big Dave. We all know a lot of people know all our history, but we're just gonna tap on this to go back for this. Gallo, like, all right, why the bass? Since we're talking bass, it's because it's funny how people get into their instrument. Like mine is weird for being also, you know, I that's me, you know, we fly that bass shit. But again, I got into bass not knowing I was gonna be a bass player. Some people did, some didn't. But bass, why bass? Was there any girl before our main girl, or was there, you know, or that was your first love?
You know, my dad's a musician. And that's got me into the thing. And, you know, I was like, Dad, you know, I want to play the guitar. When I was a kid, my dad's like, cool. You know, he was into it. You know, he's like, look, why don't you try the bass? He goes, guitar players are a dime a dozen. Every band.
Let them know, Pops.
Yeah, my old man was the best advice I ever got.
Frank Gallo.
I'm talking to you right now. You know, like he was like, you know, why don't you try the bass? He goes, you know, you seem like a bass guy, you know?
Yeah.
All right, I know what he was getting at.
Yeah. Okay, Daddy.
I'm a four-string guy. Yeah. Meanwhile, I broke it down to only two.
But so he pointed you at that, and when you played that, what music you were into at that time? Were you like the metal guy still, or already hard?
Metallica, yeah.
So you started bass, and then you started with the metal because. Some people, I know people that didn't start playing, some people until they got into hardcore, even though they were into like metal before. But hardcore gives people the taste of, I could get a stage, I could get on there and play. That's the
I can do this kind of vibe.
Yeah, because you know, it's funny. I was a kid, I went for lessons, and the guy teaching me lessons, I was like, hey, teach me a riff. He's like, you're not ready for that. You're not ready for that. You know. It was all scales. I was like, this sucks.
That's good to know, though. But, you
know, I don't follow that.
Yeah. You want to learn fucking Ride the Lightning. You want to learn Master Puppets, right?
I want to rock out. You know, I mean, even a simple riff, show me one little lick. You know, even a half of a riff. Yeah. But he wouldn't do it, and I got bored with it. And it wasn't until I saw Murphy's Law, and I was like, oh man. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna pick that bass up again.
You were like, I could get high.
That's a start. That's a good start right there.
Like, yo, this is it.
You're hooked. You go see Murphy's Law and you're hooked.
I swear that was one of my Murphy's Law was one of my first doses. I was like, I want in.
One of the best ever.
I want
in. It's hard.
I want in. Whatever that is, everything. That nigga with knee pads and a broken leg for 100 years.
Yeah,
I want in.
Yeah. Changed my life.
Yeah. Craig, well, we kind of all know, you know, but touch on that, you know, how did the bass fall in your lap?
You know, when I was little, I was like 10 years old. I would hang out with this guy in my neighborhood, one of my brother's friends, a guy named Frank Rocco, and he played the piano and keyboards. And I'd always be like, I want to play drums. And he had an old drum set, and he was going to sell it to me. So my brother and my mother went and were like, yo, Frank, we live in a small apartment. You can't sell him the drum set. So I was like, Frank. I'd be like, Frank, you got to sell me the drum set. He never would. And he would always say to me, him and a couple other guys, the Ranieri brothers, one of them played guitar. They'd always say, play bass. Everybody needs a bass player. Guitar, same thing you said. Guitar players are a dime a dozen. Don't play the drums. It's a lot of work, blah, blah, blah. They were just dying for my mom and my brother. So like what happened was I was like about 10 years old. And then my brother, right around that time, started going to high school. And he started bringing home Danny Lilker. And now we all know Danny.
Of course.
And Danny Danny, best guy in the world. Danny had music class with my brother early in the morning. So they became fast friends right away.
Imagine that guy has just started in the morning.
Oof. Yeah. No wonder why he's getting high.
Yeah, that dude's coming in. That dude's coming into music class at like 8 a.m. and probably teaching the teacher stuff.
Yeah,
you know
right.
He really knows what he's doing.
He's probably lit as fuck, and he looked exactly
and
the
he's
same
tearing that shit
right now.
Yeah, oh yeah. And he's like playing the stand-up bass, probably ripping. The teacher must be like, what am I going to tell this guy? So what happened was he would come to my house for lunch, and we became friends quick. And he played. So my Anthrax was forming. It was like 1980. So they were forming as a cover band, and Danny had the idea that, I'm going to try playing guitar. Scott, you learn the bass. So I guess my brother was like, he was going to be like the first, when Anthrax was a seed, not even a band, they talked about getting my brother to learn the bass. So Danny brought a bass over my house. My brother played a little, but he didn't really care. And I wound up playing every day. Danny, teach me this, teach me that. And I would play every day. So that's how I got on the bass.
Yeah, it's
about
weird.
10 years old about.
Yeah, it's kind of same with like me. The only reason I even picked it was, all the guys, I knew some dudes that, were like, all right, we should start a band. All right, let's start a band. And they were like, the one guy I already knew was like, yo, I want to play guitar. I was all right. And then I remember my brother always said he wanted to play bass. So I said, Dave wanted to play bass. I said, all right, I'll play bass. The only reason why was because I figured my brother likes it. It must be cool. So, I never thought about being on stage. I never thought that. I never, I never even seen a show. I knew music. Back then, maybe a couple VCR tapes, but I never been to a show. I didn't know, like, I wasn't into Kiss. I didn't know none of that. I just knew the crazy music. And then, you start seeing skateboarding in movies. And
I just wanted to play Sabbath songs. I wanted to play like Geezer Butler. I was like, yo, teach me.
Yeah, same thing.
Teach me NIB.
Thing was that. Yeah, I learned Iron Man was like one of the first things I learned. Smoke in the Water, Iron Man, and then you're on your own. And fucking, but what's crazy that, all right, one, like all three of us basically got, because a lot of kids, there's a lot of players that get into it because they're like, had a favorite player and they were like, y'all want to be like this. We got favorite players that we got into later or during. There was some people that played their instrument because of a favorite player.
Yeah,
I got you.
And do you think this? I would think this because I'm crazy. You think does that go into the way they think and how they what do you call it? Let music out from coming in that angle, you know what I mean?
Like a lot more fantasy, you're saying, like
fantasy, or just how they
how they interpret it.
Yeah, how they interpret the music.
I guess, yeah. I mean, like when I first started playing, I wanted to learn Sabbath stuff because I love the way Geezer played. And then like I got that first Iron Maiden album, and I was like, a lead bass player. So I thought that was cool. So I was learning all those lines. I digested those first two Iron Maiden albums and a lot of the early Sabbath stuff and Aerosmith and, The Who, because it was like a lead bass player. I was really into The Who when I was a kid. So I was learning all these lines from guys that were lead players. So it did develop my style a lot, I would say. I kind of play like lead bass a little bit.
So you kind of had like a mentor to follow.
And Danny would open the door for that stuff to me. He'd be like, oh, you want to learn this hand twistle line? When I was just starting out, he'd be like, it's in this key. Here's a couple parts of it. This is the scale. And you can connect the notes kind of like, he'd give me some like little ideas and I would learn and I'd be like, okay, so this works with that. And that's how I kind of learned how to work my way around the instrument. I was lucky to have a guy that kind of let me peek in the door of how music actually works.
Yeah, and you had a guy. Yeah, he has an ear. He knows, that guy
and
knows
songs and
he's
trained. He's trained. He played piano, so he's trained. You know what I mean? It helped.
Yeah, Gallo. Let me ask you this: so you are a Metallica guy. So should I say that that Burton was your guy then? That was the guy.
Burton's a great player.
No, we're gonna get into a couple guys later.
I played his bass.
Yeah, we're gonna get into a couple of those couple
in the rehearsal space.
You know, that's dope. We're gonna get into those guys, but
I smoked a joint with him.
Did you try to be like
I'm a good player? Yeah, once, son. I was like 11.
Yeah, you were like were you saying I want to play like Cliff Burton?
Yeah, definitely.
I was like,
I guess that's why my music teacher was like, you ain't ready for that yet, kid. You know. But I remember, like me and my brother always shared the room. You know, so I remember the one. Me and my brother always say we always remember the Metallica poster we had, where there's a shot from behind the Lars Ulrich's like this, you know.
Yeah.
And you see the crowd behind him. And that's just like, that's the fantasy, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, so you had the proper fantasy.
Good fantasy.
Right? Poster on the wall. I only thought that happened in the movies.
No, I had the fantasy was there, you know? But it's amazing. It somewhat became reality. I mean, it did.
Yeah, but, it did come reality.
You know, like, that was just it. It was definitely like Metallica, Maiden, Sabbath, and then like.
Well, yeah, they're great, but originally, because there's guys that are like, you can tell they play and they're like, oh, he's a Randy Rhoads guy. Oh, he's a guy. You know what I mean? You know, it's funny that to me, my whole shit was more, I wanted to be the guy who wrote the song. I didn't care.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't care so much. I want to play like this guy or that. I like learning riffs from songs. Like, I like that song. But I would be like, I got to come up with a song. Like, that shit got to be my shit. Like, because I got to play it. So I got to be able, I got to want, you know, if I leave it in somebody else's hands, I might not like it. So I said, I like the odds better if I'm writing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I can sell it. You know, like I like my own product. I'm a better salesman.
You know, I hooked up with Armand early. So he was always a writing partner with me in a lot of different groups. And he's a very structured, he's a good songwriter. He's very structured. You know, he's very particular. He's kind of like a control freak a little bit, but it's a good thing because he's evil. He's evil, not quite Roger evil, but almost. But the thing is, with his structuring, you know, I'm a little more spacey and I write stuff and it's a little wild and my ideas aren't as focused. I'm a little more of a free-spirited writer. So the combination of us two is good because I come up with some nice stuff that's off the wall and he helps me kind of hone it in a little bit, which is good. Yeah,
and you know, that's the shit that's crazy. This is the shit that was crazy that in hardcore music, like, you know, we obviously we talk shit because we all play bass, but you know, a staple player was the bass player, even in the early days. You know, why facts without bass, you know, music is shit. So let's just have, you know,
there's no ass without.
You know what I say? You know what I say? Like, you know what? You know how I describe what life is without bass? It's like this. It's like a guy with no rhythm and no kneecaps fucking. Yeah. Just imagine that.
Whoa.
Just imagine that.
That's good.
Exactly. That's good. And you know what bass is? You put bass in that, he got kneecaps now. Now he's hitting sides. Now there's movement.
Hitting sides.
You know what I mean?
That's good. That's good.
You know, but in hardcore music, it used to be a big staple. You know, even if it was like the one girl in the band was a bass player.
Always girl bass players. I was just holding back on saying it. The old days, there was so many girl bass players. And it was so cool. So many girls were involved.
Maximum Penalty. I remember seeing that. That was the first band that I saw, like, with my own eyes. Had a girl playing, and I liked Maximum Penalty.
Sand in the Face from Jersey. They were an old punk band, like in the early mid '80s. They would play, and they had a girl bass player. She had this cool little dip. She had this cool little dip move when she would play. Yeah. It was like a lot of old days. There was a lot of female bass players, and it was a cool thing.
Now let me ask you this:
and in the modern world, you got like Kate 108. She played a bass.
Yeah.
So you know the tradition's still alive. You know.
Okay, so I don't know this, but all right, Sid Vicious.
But really, she'll mess around.
Sid Vicious was a bass guy. Was he? I don't know. I'm just saying he was the bass. So okay, so do you think that has anything to do why in punk rock, you know, even the stereotype they will show the punk guy, even on a TV playing the bass, you know, it's the bass guy. Do you think because of the Sid Vicious stereotype, bass guy?
I just think in punk rock, it's a thing because it's real. It's like gritty,
it's just the best.
Street, and it's just the bass. You want gritty, you want street, it's bass.
Yeah. Well, I know that reason, but I'm trying to find a scientific reason for the.
Guitar is just the noise over the bass.
Yes.
Oh, I like that.
No, Greg, let them know. Let them know the bed.
My guys are gonna watch this. Be like, he talked shit on us.
Yeah, no.
It was Gallo.
It was Gallo. Let them know about the bed. The bed band. Let the people out there school these people, Craig.
What are we talking about now?
The
band being a bed and who's what in that bed.
Oh, you give it to me.
You're like, the mattress is
the bass.
And the drums,
the mattress
right?
is the bass. The bass into the drums. The drums are like the frame that you put everything in, and then the mattress and the box spring is the bass. And like,
and
the singer is like the cover that falls off every night. When
he was like,
he goes, top players, the pillow you drool on.
No, Craig goes like this. He told me, with the
I'm
bass,
in trouble. I'm gonna get in trouble for this.
The bass and the drums, with a mattress and this, and he go like the guitar. That's the thin sheet that goes over the mattress. And then he told me, and then the best was, the best was, and the singer, he sleeps on it.
Yeah. I can't remember.
That was yours, Craig, and to this day, I might actually have that etched on my tombstone.
That must have been back in these days, because I barely remember.
Listen, that shit was like, Aristotle. Oh, one of those guys.
Yeah, I'll take it.
My face hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts me looking at it.
It hurts.
Hey.
It hurts.
What are you doing?
It hurts. All right, but let me ask you this. All right, so we'll go. I'll start with Gallo. I'm gonna go real quick.
I gotta interrupt though. Come on.
I know you're gonna interrupt.
I gotta.
No, but quick. There's a quick. All right, we're gonna start with a couple. All right, metal guys. We're gonna start with metal.
Yeah.
Thrash metal, heavy metal, whatever you want to call. Give me some of your favorite bass players. Not hardcore yet. We're gonna get to that. Not punk. Give me a couple of your favorite players. In metal.
In metal?
Yeah.
In metal?
Metal rock. Metal rock. No, but he's a hardcore. Talking from genre.
What's the bass player for Obituary's name?
Frank was the old bass player. Frank passed away. God bless him. Frank was my friend.
Yeah.
Frankie was not only an amazing player, he was an amazing guy. Yeah, he was an animal. What a great guy. A great bass player.
Guy. Yeah, he was a real bass player's bass player too. Big guy, great.
Even rock guys like, hard rock, who are some of your guys that you like, guys that stuck out to you?
I mean, who's another? I mean, of course, like John Entwistle from The Who was just. I mean, the guy was amazing. You know what I mean? Like, and like my other favorite, even the Motown guy, James Jameson.
Best of all time.
Put the staple on bass playing. I mean, he put the groove in the. I mean, he moved that whole fucking music. You know what I mean? And that's why I like the hardcore thing, because the bass was always driving and moved the music. That's why I kind of compared the two musics together. But those are like bass players that I always say, and of course Cliff Burton.
Yeah,
and then Steve Harris. Those were like the guys that I was like, wow, just really.
Greg, from the thrash, the metal, the more that type of side.
100%. I got to go with Danny Lilka because that's my
guy.
My friend, my mentor.
Obviously, we know Geezer Butler. Obviously, that's
Butler.
But I mean, more than him, those other guys that you thought were cool. They don't let me your favorite, but like guys you were like, yeah.
Cliff Burton's a massive player. You know what I mean?
So
massive player.
Okay, now let me ask you this question because you
John Entwistle, James Jameson, same things he said. Like, and rock dudes, like the dude in Rush, Geddy Lee's a really good player. There's a million guys, the dude that played in Chicago was a great bass player. There's so many like great bass players. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you this, and I'm gonna say some shit that probably some guys won't like, but it's what I heard. All right, Burton obviously a killer. Whatever, of course, absolutely. In the room, you seen him play.
Yeah, he was a killer.
Even in the set. And I know we all know music theory where obviously we don't need perfect. It's all how it sits in the track when you're recording.
Yeah.
We know that. I know that. So with all that being said, I'm just throwing these disclaimers out for this question. I heard some Metallica tracks singled out. I heard Jason Newsted, who I never even cared about.
He could play.
Listen, can he play? That motherfucker is a beast. And I'll tell you this, and I found it because not being a fan and I didn't even care, just I did this and then I singled out. I actually even, and this is my proof because I did it with Mitz because we were arguing. And we sat there.
Easy guy to argue with. Easy guy to argue with.
And this is a fact. We singled out bass tracks Jason Newsted did and Burton did. And you know what? And I'll say that, I won't speak for Mitch, but he was there and even he bugged out. He was like, no, it can't be. I'll say this. Jason Newsted smoked him.
Yeah.
Smoked him. Now listen, let me explain this. It's my same explanation I say, how I say Stevie Ray Vaughan was better than Jimi Hendrix. Because, of course, there's Jimmy, you need that wild motherfucker to invent that, hands down.
Oh, yeah.
But Stevie played Jimmy's songs better than Jimmy. Fact.
Yeah.
Let me give you a little
Facts.
technical breakdown on what you said.
Facts.
Jason Newsted is a clean pick player, not a lot of embellishing. You know how I play like Bad Brainsy or Motorhead style. He's more of a clean player. So everything he records will sound very audibly precise. He's like Hoya, you kind of play like that. Clean, round, and full. So Newsted will be audibly a little more clear and a little more precise, and it's more rounded out. But Burton, his mind, he played a little more.
No, the licks. And I hear you.
Musically, he was Burton is like a master.
He's like a Mozart, a madman.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But he's not going to sound
and like
clear.
Jimi
He's
Hendrix.
going to sound sloppy. Yes.
And I get it, and that's why I put out the disclaimer before I said this. I get that.
Yeah.
No, because I hear that, and I was also with a guitarist who Mitch claims to be a bass player, but we all know it's a fantasy. But my point, and the guy who was going against him, we all know some people, when you go against some people, yeah. But I'm just telling you what my opinion. I was blown away because it wasn't even that. It sounded sloppy.
Well, he had to blow Metallica away to get in, you know. Like, man, this motherfucker. And again, you hear it's a masterpiece. That dude is a killer. You know, I can't do what he does with 50 fingers. Yeah.
Of course.
You know, sloppy sometimes. It's
like saying who's better, Mozart or the other guy? The other
Travatsky or
Picasso.
Stracci.
Yeah, all the heads of the five bands. But you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, it's crazy. I wanted to ask that because that blew my mind, and that's what made me a Newsted fan. Because
he's a good player.
And it wasn't just straight playing. It had style, but
clean, right?
Next time you bored, pick some of his shit out, like from whatever record. I just watched
a YouTube video of him playing this morning, and I was like checking out what he's doing, like a little bass solo, and it was cool. It wasn't as flourishing music as something that Burton would do, but it was very like audibly clear and clean and full sounding. Like the guy, like he puts out something that, like, when you listen to it, it's giving you a nice clean picture.
What Burton had was darkness when he played.
Nasty.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. That's what made his shit. Don't get me wrong.
Shit in gravy.
I play two strings with two fingers. And I'm not one to be saying that Cliff Burton sucks.
Bad as a motherfucker, you do it though.
No, but I'm saying is, and I love
all
Burton,
styles.
But I love Burton too. I love Burton too. But that had blown my mind because this was like maybe in the last 10 years, so older, still paying attention.
Yeah.
It kind of bugged me out, like, whoa, it's crazy when you start digging in, and then you find out like there's a lot of great players out there also that we don't know. Their names aren't household items like we know.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you need kind of also. Pay attention. All right, Gallo. Now, punk rock, hardcore guys. Some favorite players. Again, they don't got to be guys like, I base my style. They could be guys that came out way later. Just guys that you like what they do or how they represent the instrument.
Actually, Matt Freeman is just a monster.
And I was hoping, I was waiting for one of you guys to say that because same thing. Well, go ahead. No.
You know what? I mean, even not Punk, but you know who I really like, and who's a great bass player and an amazing songwriter, Sting.
Oh yeah, he's not playing around.
You think he's a good songwriter?
Oh, hey,
you think?
Get it.
I wrote "Set It Off." What he write? You mean Roxanne? Yeah, you mean Roxanne? You mean like 50, 100 of the greatest hits in human history?
Yeah, that's why Sting was the man. Fucking, he's a great bass player. Just,
all right, but hardcore punk guys, hardcore.
I don't listen to that shit.
Early Police is almost punk. Early Police is like punk, kind of.
Yeah, but like even from the old, like in that type of world, guys that you liked, any other players?
I mean, I think who else? Who else do I like in the punk rock scene? That
punk rock hardcore, and more of that,
Daryl Jennifer.
Oh yeah, that's my guy.
That's he was the guy. You know what I mean? Fucking one of those dudes that especially that made me want to play more, in that style. I rub a lot of his style. Just his picking and shit. You know what I mean? Like he was the fucking man. But yeah, so that was the fucking. He's incredible.
Let's go zone. Anybody? Who are some other guys?
I'm gonna say like the main guy is Daryl. Yeah, Daryl Jennifer is the main guy.
Yeah,
he's just got he's rooted, but he's on top of it. He's the picking. That's where I got my whole flourishing thing. The way I play, it's it's like embellish and push the beat. You know what I mean?
I could throw another name. I could throw another name out there.
But we don't want to do that.
Oh, you don't want to do.
No, I know. Go ahead.
I mean, you got to give the guy credit. Holly Flanagan.
Come on, that's what I say.
Yeah, Holly's a beast. He was a beast on the bass.
On that demo, he was nasty.
There's guys that roll. There's guys that had.
That's it. He's a Daryl guy. That's why he's coming from Daryl's cut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That there's a certain style. That's what picking through. Those guys bite through, the riff. That's what it is. Like
they push through, Daryl will push through and he'll put things in to kind of shape it around. I picked up that. Yeah. That's kind of my style as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And what we were saying about, it's funny that when you brought up about Matt. So obviously, you from day one, you could tell great player, but I would really watch him. That dude, why he's dope is because he made me like that style of bass playing that I never liked. I don't want to hear heavy music or whatever you want to put as rockish music with lines like that. If I'm hearing old school music, that's all I want to hear. So I was not a rockabilly-ish kind of guy. I'd rather have its own animal, no hybrids. But what he fits, again, he's mad neat, but he got that dope sloppy that's you hear the geezer.
There's Grizzle in there.
You hear Geezer Butler and that with that rock when he played. Oh, yeah. That's what makes it not just rockabilly. He almost gives it that Sabbath without.
Yeah.
Another guy I got to mention is Carl Alvarez from the Descendants. He's a monster. Insane. But guys here's the thing, guys like him and Matt, for example, West Coast players. They're very left-hand educated. They're musically educated. They know all their scales and how to connect and different things. They're very technically proficient with the left hand. Yeah. They're sort of like neck players, which is very musical, which really makes the music colorful, which is really nice. Our style, the East Coast, it's not about as color and spots. We're more about driving, about pushing and
they're more they're more like clitoris. We're more cock and balls out here.
Sure. No, I'm just saying. But
I know what you mean.
Technically, you can't mess with those guys.
No, they always had
a great style.
The surf punk, that surf style went in the music.
Musical players, musical players. Like when I play, I couldn't possibly put that much in. It wouldn't even work with the fast cuts and the way things So you put a little pop in here and there and here and there. You can't. It's a different style. They're more like open chords on the guitar. It's more folk based if you pull it back far enough. So the bass has a lot of room to work. We're more like in like a rock metal style where it's more like riffs than it is
it's
singing with chords.
fucking...
It's a different style. But boy, can those dudes play, and do they know their way around the neck? Unreal.
Yeah,
I listen to some of the Carl and Matt. I listen to some of the stuff they do and like break it down. I'm like, damn. And like, especially like Matt, I'm like, he's putting like 20 pounds of potatoes into a 10-pound sack and
I know.
making it shine.
And it works.
I'm like, wow.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. That's what I'm saying. And there's people that could do it. Like
that little bit of sloppy is what makes it work. It doesn't sound like it doesn't sound out of place.
That's
that
what
little bit of old school flavor.
Exactly. To me, the slop is... I was never technical, but I used the slop and use it on the field because that was a whole Geezer Butler thing.
It's like gravy. It makes it all just come together.
You know, it's like you know when you just you're drunk, but you're almost there, but not yet, and you get up the first time. That's what the bass should do. It should sit right in that mix like this, like a fucking lava lamp. It should.
I listen to old Jamerson, and as precise as he is, there's
wobble.
There's wobble, and the bass isn't like the bass isn't set up right. You hear like a dead note, but when you listen to it, it all comes together as this like layered. Everything's beautiful. You know what I mean?
Because also he comes and those stand-ups thing, it plays it like a percussion. He's hitting it. You know, same thing what we do when you pluck. There's guys that glide, and then there's guys how you pluck. It's how you pluck it.
When I play in a band, I use a pick and I play in a certain way. There's a lot of that going on, with the drums. Yeah, like little flourishes and different. Some dudes will go bunga bunga. I'll go boom boom ba boom boom, and I'll pop up with the snare, boom boom ba, and it gives it a flavor.
Yeah.
But when I play at home, I don't play with a pick. I sit there and I play left-handed, pretty boom ba doo 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 doo. I play like that. So it's what I play when I'm just messing around is completely different than when I step on stage and perform our music, like what we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I play one way when I'm playing hardcore, and I play another way when I'm just playing and not thinking about.
Hardcore, the bass got to be played a certain, obviously the style of music, but anything that's moving that fast, you got to learn. There's also, you can't always be a show-off bass player.
Now we're talking about bass, right? And you know this, Hoya. You play with Mackie, you get better.
Yeah, this is the great. Obviously, yeah. I think
all the stuff I think in my head as far as how I want to play. When I played with him, I was able to achieve it, and he would I'd be able to let me catch up to him, and he would jump ahead, and we'd play off each other. And at the end of a gig, it's like, yo, that was dope. You did this, and you cool stuff.
It's funny, I had those moments.
No cut on Armand, who is a partner of mine, and
he's dope, and he's a killer.
He's a rock. He's a pounding rock. You know what I mean? Like I can always count on him. He's always there, and it's always going to be strong and boom. And I can do some nice.
He's a Buick.
He's a Buick. He's just like driving down the road like it's coming out. You know what I mean?
A lot of gas. He needs a lot of gas.
Uses a lot of gas. A big muffler.
Big muffler. But it's sturdy. Exactly reliable.
It's sturdy, reliable.
The 8-track is going to work forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
You're getting crazy now.
Yeah, but no. And this is a
Camel.
This is the thing with Mackie, old cigarette thing in the.
Yeah.
There's the thing with Mackie. My experience was a little different was because I got to play with him a different kind. It wasn't hardcore. It was still kind of
nice,
but it was a different band. So I was kind of like, I didn't think about it like that. Like, how am I gonna mesh with him? I was just thinking, how the fuck we're gonna just pop this off? How we're gonna make this whole band mesh? So, but it worked out, and that's why
the way you play and the way he plays when he plays that type of stuff, like stuff
he's
pulled back more. It's a perfect because you're like an anchor and he's like a tree root. Perfect.
Mackie, you know what? Mackie's the perfect drummer. He needs curtains. That's the drummer. That your curtains gotta open and close.
Yeah. That's it. Good way to put it.
Feel. It's a whole experience. It's like air. That's how you gotta let him have air.
His style of playing hardcore is so old school, yet its own school, and I just love the way he plays hardcore and the way I play bass. He lets me really do the stuff that I like to do as like an aggressive bass player, all the right-handed stuff.
Yeah.
I get to and he gives me enough room to do my left-handed fills. There's always room there. But other drummers, sometimes there's not as much room because we're all racing, trying to create energy, which is great. But
he's a bass player's drummer because also he gets less is more. Let's do less. Yeah. And then we could always add. You know, some guys, we want to add everything. We want to do the thinking.
I know people like that.
I don't like drummers that overplay. I don't like drummers that overplay. Very few drummers that overplay. I don't like drummers that overplay. That's why, I like playing with Armand is good because he keeps it simple and he does nice little things that I could jump with. You know what I mean? It's perfect, huh?
No, sick of it all. As close as we are to the music, we're all different. Sick of it all is very on top, even from AF. AF got more mood changes. Sick of it all got changes, but sick of it all's attack. It's boom, 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 boom.
We attack hard. So it's aggressive,
So the drums got to be a certain way, and like I said, exactly like you would tell when you play with another drummer. Like sick of it all, you would tell. I think you could tell quick. Like,
with Signal, we couldn't. With somebody else, it would sound like slow down and relax.
Exactly. I think it'd be a harder. Not that the gorilla, his drum beats, no drummer could figure them out. But it's the style.
It's the way he plays them. Yeah.
The way
like
that. It's
the four of us we got a chemistry. The four of us,
and it's only been you guys, except for one of the bass players.
Armand always used to complain that the three of us would race ahead, and I'd be like, yeah, maybe we race ahead, but you're racing ahead too. We're all, we're not like backbeat dudes. We're like push it. You know what I'm saying? That's why when I played with Mackie, there's a backbeat and a push, which was nice for me because I didn't get that much of that. We're sick of it all. We're always racing each other. Everyone's trying to get to the finish line. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But again, like
it's an energy.
Sick of it all's like that. Sick of it all's attack.
Attack. It's all attack. Yeah.
So you got to attack that a certain way and fucking. But
it creates energy. That's why people dig it,
Yeah. And again, how it's funny how certain play, even how again we're talking bass, where you hear how something that small, how picking in the mix affects a thing, like how the death metal guys, their bass players pick. Like I always wondered how some of them picked blast beat stuff. Were they doing that or they weren't? And then I found out they weren't. But I found out because I did records with my man Eric Rutan. Shout out to Eric Rutan and all my fucking metalhead motherfuckers out there.
Yeah.
But what he had told me was this, because I was trying to learn that also because my style, I use the space more and I like to do that as much as possible where I could put it in. But I was like, man, am I throwing off a pace by like not sticking, right on top by, taking my angle? And I was like, how do these death metal guys do it? He goes, nah, they'll kind of pick through it. They'll hit the every other one or whatever. But he goes, but he told me the guy from what's that crazy band? Not Morbid Angel, another one, Real Fast. He did their album. Fuck, I can't believe they're in one of the big death metal bands, one of those. Real Extreme singer, fucking. You guys would know the band if
Cradle
I said
of Filth?
The best players, huh? Not Cradle of Filth, more the hardcore one. They're more like one of the first one. I'm gonna remember, but the bass player is a dope bass player. And he told me that motherfucker.
Sodom?
No, that later. No, after that.
Sounds like Lemmy, that dude.
Yeah, but they told me this dude, he goes, and I heard this shit, it's all blast beats, all that. He goes, he plays through the whole shit. And he might be a finger player. He even goes, that's dude,
hard. But I'll tell you what, a guy like that, you know where he probably learned that from? Danny Lilker, because Danny Lilker will push ahead. Danny Lilker he's making the bass scream. So a lot of my stuff comes from that. Like, hey, you don't have to sit back. You can fill it up and grizzle it up and all that. But Danny Lilker, he's a guy that if you listen to his tracks, you'd be like, just soloed, you'd be like, what the hell is going on? This guy's like, it sounds like flames are coming out of the speakers. You know what I mean?
Just nonstop, right?
Yeah, he's pushing.
My shit, you think it's like a mood light. It's be like,
yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
It's like fucking fireworks going out of the sky.
Yeah.
Fucking play.
But Mackie always tells me, he goes, Hoya is a great bass player. I'm like, yeah, I know. He goes, he doesn't do a lot like this, but his feel is he's back. He's hitting right when he needs to, and it's making it all just come together. And
that's what I was saying about
thing too. It's like comes together.
And that's what I love about Mackie. What we did with Hazen Street, and this is why I got to play become like a real player in some parts where, you know, he improvises stuff sometimes.
Yeah, it's never the same twice.
So,
which is nice.
And then sometimes he'll improvise shit that ain't on a recording, but he'll do it live, you know, but you'll know the spots. And we were catching spots without
same, yep.
You know,
yep.
We were catching those moments, and we would having like some dope where, and it was some real cool moments, especially with Hazen, because Hazen breathes a lot. So there were spots where the shit would stop, me and him would stop, vocals would go, and then me and him come in with a bass lick, and the shit was hot, and we were like, yo, that was dope while we were playing. And then we learned, we learned what I also learned about, you know, how styles also vary, like, you know, playing with Mackie with Madball, it was a different feel, you know? He's a fucking, you know, it's just a different type of animal. And like I said, the biggest compliment I ever got, you know, we were lucky to be a band that we've been lucky, you know, dudes showed us love and gave us compliments, but Mackie gave a compliment that I brag about all the time because I take pride in us having flavor, and ain't nobody got more flavor than Mackie. And I'm like, and after he had played with us, we were at some show, and I forgot what drummer we had, and it was a bunch of the guys talking, and he was like, somebody was talking about us playing the show, and he looked at the guy, he goes, yo, man, you think it's easy to play for these dudes? Yo, that shit ain't easy. You got to be on point. And I looked, I was like, yeah, nigga.
He said the same thing to me, like about you guys. I remember having many conversations, and I'm like, yeah, I noticed that. You know, he notices that. Most people don't notice that. And
that it's the compliment I brag about. That's the one, because we know, like, that's like, yo, I got the glow. Like in The Last Dragon, you know, with glowing now.
Most people just hear it and like it, and they're like, wow, this is great. And like, but as a musician, like I said earlier in this, there's a certain cohesiveness that you guys bring out. It's almost like you got to be patient to make it come off that complete, which is really nice.
Let me ask you this, Craig, because you were around back then, and it seemed back then more than now. Back then, there was bands with like 2 bass players. Remember when people had
that band Damage? Right?
They were like, like I knew of them because of Dave, because my brother. And I know back then guys would experiment more.
That's probably right when you started coming around, right around that time, like, you know, like 85,
my first show wasn't until 88, but 85.
But still, I'm saying you were like you know,
absorbing it,
like it was coming on your radar. You know
yeah, because my brother was getting everything what you guys were getting.
Yeah,
you
we were all hanging.
The Hellhammer demos.
For anybody that doesn't know, Hoya's brother, Big Dave, and we call him Big Dave because there was also a little Dave that hung out. That was the first drummer for Sickville. We were all friends, and Hoya was a little younger. Yep. So, you know.
A lot younger.
Yeah, like Lou, Pete, Armand, and myself, we hung out with Dave all the time. So
that's what I was saying. So my brother, when Sick of It All just started playing, like that's when my brother went to the military. So he went in the military, and then Sick of It All started. But like I remember General Chaos. I remember like when it was
General Chaos was like the first name of Sick of It All.
Like that. And you know what else I remember? This was later, but you know the old Sick of It All thing? Not old, but it's later. Remember the fucking Funky Chicken? Niggas don't remember that. I remember the Funky Chicken. I'm just throwing that out there.
Funky Chicken, that was like a little intro or whatever. I remember that.
I remember that shit. But my brother hung out, and that's, you know, how the fucking I had all those. But I remember back then there was more bass experimental.
There was. Now in Damage, they had a 4-string bass player with fat strings, and then they had a guy playing a 5-string, and it was almost between guitar and bass. So it had like, and he used flat wound strings. So it had that like, so it gave it like a staccato thing. That kind of, and they were super tight. They were like the most precise band, you know, and they just sounded like. I think they were like a mix of Manhattan, Jersey, maybe. Cool. I don't know, but Tommy Victor was always doing sound. He was like in that crew. You know what I mean? Talking about Prong.
Oh, Prong. No, Tommy. Shout out to Tommy, man.
Yeah, shout out to Tommy. They were like just like. Back in like 85, let's say, they were at like a level of like sophistication and production wise, like having their shit together. That was like unprecedented. I'd go see them, and they'd be loud and they'd sound clean. And I was like, man, this band is good.
Yeah, no, I remember seeing them. And let me tell you, the best shows, my era of going to hardcore shows, 88, that around that was Tommy doing the sound. I seen the best shows. Tommy was a killer. And the second best sound man I ever had and heard ever was Roy. Shout out to Roy, fucking
Yo, Roy is one of those dudes that could do it all, but everything. Check it out. When AF, before we got Matty Henderson, we tried out a bunch of people, and we tried out Roy, who I was like, Roy, you're a drummer. He's like, nah, I play guitar well too. So he came down and killed the tryout. We were like, yo, I was like, Roy's the guy. And the reason we didn't take him is because he was in Nausea and Roger didn't want to be with Amy. Stealing the guy.
Passion conflict. What do you call that?
Conflict of interest. But recently, like when this pandemic thing started, I did a track with Roy on drums. Actually, Jason Christopher, the bass player.
Yeah.
From
shout out to Jason too, man.
Played in a million bands.
Yeah.
So he contacted me and said, hey, me and Roy want to do Maladjusted. And then Craig Silverman jumped in, Gallo's guy, and we did that Maladjusted cover. And Roy's a nasty drummer. I heard his drum track. I was like, yo.
He's a fucking
I played to his
killer.
Drum track. I was like, this guy's giving me something I can work with here.
He's a killer. Like that's the type that dude's like a Madball drummer. You know why?
Yeah.
Ecuadorian. Shout out to my Ecuadorian blood flavor.
He's got flavor.
Latin blood.
But he's the first guy that made Madball. So Danny Giordano, and shout out to Danny, my brother in Italy. But Roy at Wetlands did sound for Madball the first time where we sounded like the first time where I was like, we need to get a sound man. Now I get it. It was because of Roy. I always say it. Roy's a killer, and we were
Roy's good too. You throw him in a van, he's just chilling.
Best dude.
Nausea. You can survive.
He's like Nausea minus the crust and smell.
Yeah. He's Nausea, but goes home at night.
Civilized Nausea. Yeah.
Civilized crust punker.
But he goes home at night. Thank God.
Yeah.
No, but Roy's but shout out to Roy, and I get amped whenever I see him, Johnny. I see them killing it in that.
Oh yeah, it's great.
They rap it, and fuck. I'm gonna get Roy on. I've been wanting to get him on here too, man.
Roy would be good on here. Yeah.
And his fucking playing, it's like that's a flavor. Like you hear the jungle. You know what I mean?
That the Stone Sour guy. He hooked into some good players, man.
Yeah,
got a Buffalo guy, and he got Roy. Those are
that's another
good dudes and good players.
Let me tell you about Johnny. That motherfucker,
Johnny's the best.
Yeah, and that's the sound I like. He has a sound he uses. That's my style. Like a little bit different from me, but I'm like, it's a vintage but stylish.
Yeah.
And I like that. And I'm like, man, I be trying to get my shit to sound like that. But when the way I pick, I'm just used to having how my shit resonates a certain way.
You like a lot of bottom, but it's clean bottom.
I need to be able to manipulate the air more. So I always need
Yeah, what's crazy, I played through before this whole pandemic thing, we play together all the time on festivals. And I remember I was messing with your right before you played, I was like playing your bass. And I was like, yo, this sounds like I was like, because I have a very different sound than you. And I was like, yo, this sound is great. I could play with this sound, even though it's different. It felt good. Like the way you created bottom end, I was like, yo, this it's full, but it's not sloppy. It's just like there's a security in the bottom. You feel it. You know what I mean?
And that's what it is. Since I was never picking through everything, I said, how could I carry those guitar riffs? So I would make sure I would pluck in a way where I try to manipulating the air so the bottom travels throughout the riff. So I'm hitting it like boom, boom, boom. I'm trying to stretch out like
an 808.
There is some cut on your pick though. You got you got top. It just doesn't.
You know what? What's funny?
It's the timing cut. You know what I mean?
You know what's funny? I learned that because I always needed more bite because Maddie would go to the traditional 101 proper sounding bass, which was more attack. I was too one way. Where I met now is in the middle. What I did, and I ended up I made it right for me, but was everybody would say not to do like what you would do on a stereo. I would V it out. And people say, don't do that because I take
traditional
it out. But I always was like, I wanted to sound like the car playing hip hop driving by, and that was low end. So I was like, yo, drop the middle and put the side. I was like, and then people were like, yo, put the mids and this and that. I'm like, yo, put that on later if you can. And then I learned, fuck you. I'm gonna play it like this. If you know, you're supposed to make me sound the best I sound, not how you want me to sound.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I like mid range myself because it's.
But it's not. But my whole thing is this.
Style.
But this is my whole thing. We all know. I ain't gonna try to give you my favorite sound. It's like, let me take Craig's. Okay, if I'm a dope engineer, how could I take his shit and put steroids in it? Not like how I'm gonna take his sound and make it sound like Gallo. No, I want to, work your shit out. And what I did in the early days, that people would diss me because they're like, yo, you don't V out a stereo. I do it on my stereos even. A light, not a deep V, but a light, you know, wing. But I found out as a starting point for a bass
round sounds nice and round.
You got this part. Now the middle is here. Now you adjust the middle how you want, but you already. It's like two beautiful breasts. Now you work. Now you control the cleavage with the mid.
Oh yeah, we know now.
Yeah, look at.
Make it heavy. Make it heavy.
Listen, so two big,
crazy.
And the mid range is a cleavage, so you could try.
Yeah, sure.
But he's like, Craig, look at Craig. Craig, why you red? Man. You didn't say nothing.
Crazy. You're making me laugh. I'm thinking about something.
No, but it's all, I get it's on the, it's funny how the starting points and what's what, but it ended up working for me. Then I learned how to kind of work off of that. And it's funny how everybody's starting point is,
Yeah.
Some guys work. And Craig, when I say Craig is the king of, you give Craig 500 different amps, he knows how to make it sound like his sound.
Yeah.
He always got a new setup, a new sound. I go, no, you just did the impossible. He could plug into like a cardboard box and he's gonna get it that sound.
Yeah.
Plug it to an amp pass and I'm like, how you manipulate that to sound like that?
I don't know. It's like I always heard. I just like, I want to sound like
he never has to change. He's always like got a new amp or whatever. I go, you got your sound already. Like you duplicated it. That's like the magic you did.
My thing is old amp.
He's into sound.
Yeah.
Old Ampeg that I would like kind of hot wire a little bit and kind of get it a little so I could get a little more grizzle out of it, warm it up and do certain things. Back in the old days, they used to use like this like DOD EQ pedal that I would like rig up like just to make it sound like to push frequencies.
All right.
But I'll tell you this, like recently, right before, about 6 months before, I got a new amp and it's a Class D amp. And what I learned from that is you know how normally with like an Ampeg, you run it a little hotter, you get more grizzle, it comes off more. With these Class D amps, you can get it up to a point, and the minute you try to get more, it kills the sound. So I learned more recently how to get the sound I want by coming more from underneath and bringing it up to a point that's a little short of the max I could use of it, and then balancing it out. So I learned. And I get more mid-range out of this newer amp I got, and I love the way it sounds. And it made me sound more clear and
I was
bright
just about to ask this because a lot of people hit me up about sound. Since you already started, we're gonna start with you with that. What's your rig now? What are you playing? What's your rig? Your go-to rig? From the your amp, your head, your pedal. Which bass?
Okay, so if we're in the studio, I want an old school SVT. Left on overnight, hot with the 810s. That's pretty much it. Just an old SVT that I play with. In the board after the fact, I might use some pedals like a Sans amp on one track to clean it out and pull some of that mid-range for a clarity track. Maybe run it through an Avalon or like something else to like bring out certain grizzly frequencies in it. And that's pretty much in the studio. It's traditional, but live, I started using a whatchamacallit. I'm drawing a blank on this. It's the other pedal, not a Sans amp, but
the dark crystal. What is that?
Dark glass. I've been using a dark
crystal.
Dark glass. I was using a dark glass 900 V2 And the dude Joe from Rise Against kind of was always pushing that stuff. And so was Jason Christopher. These guys were hitting me up like, you got to try this, you got to try this, you got to try this. So then we played on that Warped Tour, and the guy's name is Lauryn Hill, like the singer.
Yeah.
He's the rep, and he gave me his card. And he goes, he gave me his card. He goes, hit me up. He goes, I'd like you to try our amps. He liked the way I play, and I had a unique sound and all that stuff. So, I was like, all right, cool. And then, went back before this pandemic thing, we were all on tour. So all the time. So I didn't call him. I was just like coming home for 2 weeks, like just drooling on my pillow and excited to drink a coffee with my brother-in-law and laugh. You know what I mean? Let's not talk about hardcore. So I pulled through Chicago, and I played in Chicago, and Joe Rise Against showed up. He goes, you still didn't try that? He goes, what are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. You're going to love it. And he knows the way I play, because I'll say that I was an influence to him sound-wise, because he always was like into asking me what I was playing through. When we were younger, he'd be like, what amp are you using? So, and he always says like, oh, I like the way Craig Setari sounds. And we're old friends, but, he was always interested in my sound. So when he told me this face to face, he goes, you're going to like this. I know how you want to sound, and you're going to like this. So I looked like the light bulb went off. I said, something, if he's saying that, he knows what I dig on. We used to talk about how he set up the amp and stuff like that. So I called the guy. I was playing Frisco SF like 2 weeks later, and the guy brought the head down, and I tried it, and I liked it, and I used it, and I was using it, and it sounded really good. So eventually what I did, it took me a while to shape it. I started messing with some different pedals and different ideas, and he gave me a couple pedals to work with it. What I wound up doing was using my Sans amp, and I was talking to Neil, Neil Osterberg, Zum.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if for anyone that doesn't know, Neil Osterberg, his nickname is Zum. He played in Antidote. He's the guy that pretty much came up and invented the Sans amp pedal.
Yeah.
So along with the company. So he's like my technical go-to guy. When I'm like, I'll be like, Neil, blah, blah, blah. Like ask him, because he's like a technical wizard and a great bass player and great guy.
Oh yeah.
So he came down, and I was playing through the dark glass, and I was like, Neil, it sounds really good, but I'm not getting enough low end warmth. I'm like, I need a little more Hoya in there to round it out.
Yeah.
So he showed me different ways to use the Sans amp, ways I never really knew of. Like there's like little tricks to it. So what I do is I use just a tiny bit of Sans amp with this pedal, and I don't use it the way I used to use a Sans amp. All I do is shape the bottom end it does just a little thing to it, which rounds the bottom. So the Sans amp isn't used as a boost. It's used in this way that just sort of gives it the one element that I felt it could have been better at. And the sound I get, it sticks out so much. The harmonics, the sound has so much, the harmonics are so rich that when I'm playing, it's almost like bang, bang, bang. You almost hear like stuff kind of
ricochet.
It's like branching out and like popping out like lightning bolts. I really like it, because I got in the habit of using an Ampeg and a Sans amp to the point where my sound became like very low end and very high end and no middle. It was like boom, gong, 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 gong. Yeah. And I felt like I was kind of losing my identity, and this thing got it back. Long story, but
all right. So you're using the pedal or the head or both. So
using the head.
So you're using the head. So the dark
the pedal,
the dark crystal head,
the dark glass V2 head, with the old school one switch Sans amp. But the way I'm using the Sans amp is something that I thought I would never do. Gotcha. It's almost turned off.
All right,
it's not used as a boost at all.
I hear you. You're just using it, say, runs through it, kind of, and it's picking up something. It runs
through it just to shape a certain low frequency.
Got you.
To shape a certain low frequency. That's all it does.
So you got that. What cabinet you using?
810 Ampeg.
810, and what bass you're playing live? What's your go-to bass?
Well, I got Red is my girl. Yeah. Hold up.
Oh, here we go.
Can we see her?
Oh,
can you see her?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk her over there. Hold up. There's Red right there. Can you see her good?
Yep, there she goes. That's just studio bass. And what do you have pickups in there?
I got EMG's old school. I got a PJ split, as you can see. That's a precision jazz split, and I got active EMG's old ones from like I bought the bass in '83, so they're like early '80s.
And the basses you play live, EMGs?
Yeah, EMGs, the same PJ split active. That's what I use for hardcore, and Fender Precisions. You know what I mean? Which are basically that's a takeoff on a Fender P. Yeah. I have a couple basses that aren't. They're all Fender Precision style basses. You know, I like the light colored, the blonde neck. What's it called? Not rosewood. It's how am I drawing
maple.
Blank on? Maple. I like a maple neck because it gets a lot of snap. Yeah, a maple neck because it gets that nice. I want
coconut neck. I want a coconut.
It sounds nasty.
Neck.
Sounds like celery.
Coconut neck shape.
Yeah.
Gallo.
The shit that you don't want, I like. You probably like a dark colored neck because it's smoother, you know?
Yeah. Gallo.
And that's it.
What's your rig?
I'm simple, you know. I mean, I
basically got the same, very similar setup.
I mean, I usually, when I go to Europe, I use the SVT Classic and the 810 cabinet, you know, and the Sans Amp. And I've always got my sound basically, and I always try to, I mean, Craig, I always love Craig's sound. I always love your sound. I try to kind of meet that in the middle because my sound, AF's got a little more punk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it needs to be a little more, it's got to have the bottom, but it's got to shine through. You know what I mean? So.
And your bass has active pickups?
No, I don't use active pickups. Too much. I'll tell you why. Because I found a lot of times the battery would die.
Oh, you got to change it every like 6 months.
Yeah. He does the.
Yeah, but
check it out, Gallo. If you leave it plugged in like after sound check and it's plugged in all day, that's draining the battery the whole time. You got to unplug it when you're not playing. That's
you got to tell Nassau to unplug that shit. Shout out to Nassau, my Bulgarian savages out there.
But no, I like to keep it simple because I find the more it's just too much. You know, I don't think for my sound, for what I need, and I mean I use the ESP bass now, but it's modeled after a P bass.
Yeah.
So P bass, Sans Amp, and at home, I just use the GK head.
That's what I was about to say.
I used to use those in the 90s.
That's my favorite head. I'll use an SVT now. You know, whatever I have, to me, I almost don't. I just need my Sans Amp. With my Sans Amp, I plug into a clock radio speaker.
Yeah, that's me. If no Sans Amp,
take your hat off, Gallo.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
Well, who's this guy with the hair?
Yeah.
Shout out to the committee.
Yeah, listen.
Bald and proud. Say it, Gallo. The committee. Let me tell you. Bald and proud.
How
worldwide, international.
Listen, you baldies. Shout out to Toby Morris out there speaking the hairlines.
Another bald guy, yeah.
Shout out to Ezek, who ain't too far behind.
Not too far behind. Red, too.
Yeah, but how great was that GK 400 and then the 600? Those are some of my favorite heads to date.
I used the 800, which is just a stronger version.
Listen.
It was very nice.
Right now. Listen, right now.
It's a little stiff sounding, but it's good. You know what I
love it.
It's not warm.
I love it. I love it as much as an SVT and anything. I could get that shit. Because I haven't had a reason to buy a head, but that's the one I'm going back to. Because but out of all of them, I get the dope SVTs. Great, of course, SVTs. Yeah. A Mesa Boogie, dope, great. It's gonna sound great.
GK's a live head.
Let me tell you. You know why?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's the secret with GK. Why it was made for me. It's naturally has that V scoop in its built-in sound.
Yeah,
kind of does.
I can manipulate those low ends and the mid, those high, just how I like it. Yo, I swear, I would plug that shit in no matter where I'm at. Right now, any bass, any setup, you give me that, I'm gonna have at least sounding like, oh shit. Yeah. Like you're gonna.
I'm surprised it has enough low for you though. I would think that the low would be the problem with that.
No, I got too much low.
Wow.
Put it like that's why I always felt they have a scoop that other heads don't. Now I could understand if you're a mid guy and don't like that for some of the mids, because I never fucked with the mids because I don't.
But the mids come alive on those. You push those mids, they pop.
Now,
they almost
that's
become
where maybe
cardboard.
The sound will change. For me, I'm going back to the GK just because of that. I'm like,
yo, you know what you would? I would picture you like
an 800.
I mean, 800. That's what you need.
Those
800.
Hoya, you know those old 70s Sun heads, the really big ones?
Yeah.
Or like the old acoustic heads, What else? There was the Sun, the acoustic.
No, you know what it is?
You're talking about the one with the padding was what was it called? Yeah, that was my first amp. It was called like a plush or something like that.
You know what it is? This is the thing.
Had it in my room.
There's mad dope heads. They're so dope. All dope. But a GK, I'll throw that shit off a building. You're gonna plug the shit in, it's gonna work.
Yeah.
A fucking Mesa. You go like this to a Mesa boogie, the things break, a fuse.
Yeah.
That's why I loved like the old SVT, the traditional SVT, but they're too temperamental. You can't take on the road.
That's why exactly. Go, man. You need the die-hard solid state King of Kings.
Yeah.
GK. That shit. That's the only reason why I'm saying other more sophisticated sounds, but for like us, a GK could be mounted, or it could be your floor. It could be under your sneakers in the van. It's gonna plug in right out the cold weather. That's the only reason I'm saying.
For a long time, I used the Ampeg Pro 4, which was which was a solid state power section, and then it had preamp tubes, and that worked well. But after a while, I just, like I said, that was when I was saying earlier, I felt like I was getting away from my sound because it was low and high, and with the I was running the Sans amp too hard, is what it was. I was pulling out the mids, trying to go for more. Overall, I was losing the subtleties, and I had to calm myself down and bring it back. You know what I mean?
No, but this is something I also want to tell, a lot of the younger kids and kids that might want to start playing, not just bass, but instruments. It's something I wanted to say that I keep forgetting what other players is, that people not to get caught up on how expensive your bass or guitar is, the drums, what brand it is, what color it is. Because as you just heard, we've all bought fake versions. We all started with mock-up versions. We started with built versions with crazy glue duct tape versions.
Red's a homemade bass. A guy made it in his shop. He made like 75 basses. It's called a Guitar Man. It's the best bass I ever played in my life.
My whole point is, some kids think, I need to have a half stack. I need a Marshall stack. I need a Gibson bring. It's like, if you could have it, that's great. It's like, all you got to do is, what I try to tell people is like, you got to want to make music. If you want to make music, you'll grab pots and pans, you'll grab a fucking, like Jameson, you'll put the string on the side of the house, and you're gonna make it happen. You just gotta want to create music.
Yeah. Oh, that's the way it was in the old days. Hoya, you're from Corona, right?
Corona, Queens, kid.
You know who else is from Corona? Rob Echeverria.
Yeah.
Right down the block. And Richie
Corona. Listen, Corona, Queens is, let me tell you, Lower East Side is cute. The whole crew, I get it. The Lower East Side crew, and I like that. Queens, motherfuckers, the Nebulous and his hardcore
Murphy's
shit.
Law comes from Queens.
Murphy's Law, yo. Murphy's Law, yo.
Major Conflict, you got some good. Yo, I'll tell you what, though, like, when I was really little, if people don't know this, when I was really little, I put an ad in like a music paper, and like these dudes called me up, and I went to rehearse with them in like Long Island City, and Pete and Mike Sankowitz, who was another friend of the Alleyway guy.
Wait, hold on, real quick before you stop. All right, real quick. Mike Sankowitz, that dude is the dude who wrote some of the baddest riffs for Raw Deal. Let's just okay.
He was
that's the motherfucker right there. The secret weapon niggas don't talk about.
The mid 80s, Mike Sankowitz was a player for sure. Great player and a great guy. So these dudes meet me at the they sent somebody to meet me to show me where the studio was, right? So it's like Mike Sankowitz and Pete, Pete Sigamidal. So I'm like, oh shit, these guys? I'm like, are they any good? And Pete looks at me and he goes, you're going to be blown away. And those guys knew me because I was in a band. We used to rehearse down the block from Pete's house, and Pete and Lou would come to the rehearsals. He goes, you're going to fit right in with these guys because, they were players and I was a player. And it turns out it was Rob Echeverria and Rich Cipriano. Rich Cipriano is the first bass player of it all.
Corona.
And Rob Echeverria, we call him Das. He's the guitar player in Straight Ahead. He played in the Helmet. He played, all of these bands with me and everybody. Rest in pieces. So the point is, without even knowing these guys, I hooked up with some Corona dudes. Hoya lived down the block. Big Dave. Everything just, you don't even know what's happening.
The universe.
Some dude calls you and it turns out that it's like people right in your wheelhouse, all people in the same. Literally lived
that's what it was for us in our neighborhood. It was my older brother went to high school. His best friend was Das, who ended up playing Rest in Pieces, Straight Ahead, Helmet, Biohazard. And those guys, this is the denim and leather days. They used to be fucking denim and leather metalheads in that day. But this is when all heavy extreme music
Motorhead guys, you know?
Yeah, but extreme music was
CasaDeRock.com, home of that fly DIY. You want to support the show? Go cop some merch right now. We got a lot of new t-shirts, shorts, and caps available. Everything is made in-house by your boy on the spot. So show some love, support the movement. CasaDeRock.com is a spot.
Mixing. So then that's why you had a lot of the hardcore metal guys, the thrash dudes, and really mixing Venom, and they like punk and hardcore and all the extreme.
Well,
and
we all come from that pretty much. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's like our
Same
world.
thing.
But it all mashed together.
The funny part is within 10 blocks. So I lived here. Das lived 4 blocks this way, and Richie lived 5 blocks from there. And Richie ended up playing for Sick of It All. And and my brother grew up again going to high school with all these guys. So it was and then later on,
it's crazy. I just popped into these guys, and that whole thing, like I already knew like Pete and Lou and Armand, and then I popped into those guys, and like that whole thing just meshed together, and I made so much music with those guys. It's just it's crazy,
and those were the right dudes, like And it's funny because out of all the guys,
they were the right dudes for sure.
The right dudes, especially like Armand. Armand was a music guy. He was the guy playing guitar. He had a band. He was writing lyrics. He was a studio dude. And then, okay, you who had a little bit more, were really into music, you linked up with that guy, and he was the guy. Guys fall out of music. The dudes that love this shit stay with it. Like, you stay with it.
I mean, like the guys in my band, I got a
same thing. Troopers.
They're
the only thing that stopped Sick of It All was this thing. You know what I mean? This virus thing.
The same thing. We had.
I keep going forever and ever and ever. And you got to stop me.
I know you that same thing. Madball broke up for 8 months, but that was because Freddie had to go to Rikers Island on vacation.
Yeah, well,
No, but that was like the same thing. I tell people. Same thing with you, and then for you it's even longer, and even Gallo. I said for us, in 26 years, this is the longest we've been off a stage
by far.
Yeah,
it's weird.
You got longer. For us, it's 26 years. Not on, even with Freddie going to jail, we've been on a stage.
We're all lifers. The couple of years, who's older and younger don't matter. We're all lifers. When you're a lifer, you're a lifer.
Exactly.
That's it.
Don't matter how many years you got in.
I agree.
Doing life.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. It's like, when you start realizing that, when we're like, man, we haven't been off a stage this long in 26 years.
I tell you what, my knees and the arthritis in my hands is all better now.
I know. I feel better than ever.
I can hear it. Whoa! You saw that?
Look at this guy looking like a dog.
My ears aren't ringing as much. Damn. Got muscles on him. You saw that?
No.
Starting to look like Big Dave.
Yeah. Believe me.
What are you doing, Hoya? You training?
But just I'm still losing what I do. I started eating cleaner, but I do a heavy bag. I ride a bike, and I
do the George Foreman thing. You do the George Foreman thing. Just hit it and just keep going.
Yeah. I do 8 rounds, 8 3-minute rounds, or I do biker. I do like nothing crazy. I go out a half hour, 45 minutes every day, and I just try to eat clean. But I started watching it and doing it strict.
Yep.
I say,
walking helps.
I
walk like 5 to 10 miles every day.
Yeah, like every day. So and riding a bike, my hood, I listen, I just ride.
Yeah,
but eating cleaner is that's the thing. It's like, it's
you can't do pizza and tacos every day.
Nah, exactly. But you could.
Yeah,
well, you could. But you know what it is? It's just once you're aware of it, you kind of pay attention because we all eat when we're bored also.
Yeah, true.
Because we like it.
Smoke.
If I could bang, I'd be banging. But I got none about it.
I don't eat like I used to. I was like, I'm like,
But I'm saying when you're bored, you want to do something you like. We like eating, or let me get a drink. Let me smoke.
But when you're on the road, it's like, what do you got? You're like in a vehicle,
coffee and eat.
And then you sleep, coffee, and eat. What else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Now that I'm home, it's like, all right, I could do what I want. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna go for a long walk.
Same here.
When motorcycle season comes and the weather's warm, I probably won't be in as good shape because I'll just be like sitting on a bike riding the whole time, but still, you know what I'm saying?
I'm taking this shit straight up like a prison sentence. Obviously, this is nothing like prison. I ain't trying to sound like we're in prison, but I took it like to the day I'm not being released to the day they told me I could play. So the day I could play till then, I'm living as strict as I could live.
Yeah.
While I could control what I'm eating, when I'm eating, how clean I'm eating, because on the road you can't do that. Till then, I'm gonna do that.
How did you never go to prison? That's what I don't understand.
Bobbing and
He's
weaving.
smart. That's right.
You know how?
Smart.
You know how I had a good hiding spot in fucking Jackson Heights.
That's right, brother. That's right.
You know what?
I don't know where that is.
Listen, you know why I've been lucky? Because I've paid for some of my sins. One, because karma's real.
Yeah, I understand.
Number two, I never said why me, and God loves G's. You got yourself into this, now you deal with it.
Yeah.
And number three, I think being in the band, we were lucky that it gave us an option to do something else.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
And that, it was literally the talk.
Trouble.
Yeah, it was literally the talk where, early days, me and Freddie go on the road and we were talking about, how many 8 balls we could get so we could sell to these metalheads on tour. When it went from living like that to like, nah.
That's the jail mindset.
Yeah, and then we got out, jail, and then life wilding out. Then it got to the point
you guys were wild.
Yeah, we were like, we can't do that. And
we all these kids are crazy.
We were like, we gotta, if we do this and we want to live, we had friends that were dying, on the run. We're like, if we do this, we got to do it right, and we got to go for it. And but we had an option. Other people don't have the options. They come along with us, just to hang out, but they don't got the option and shit. So we fucking lucked out. People always say music saved me. Well, it did. It saved a lot of us in whatever ways, or it killed some of us.
Yeah,
music. But we got lucky.
I got people like that, that aren't in this, and they say like, oh, before this whole pandemic thing, they'd say, oh, Mike, you're so lucky, like it's so exciting, and you must have been so determined. And I'm like, let me break it down for you. Yeah, I'm lucky. I was a lazy kid that didn't want to do anything but what I wanted to do.
Yes.
So I was just busy having fun and playing music and being who I wanted to be. Meanwhile, I got lucky and it turned into a good career. But like I could have easily just wound up a bum.
Yeah.
I mean, because I was too lazy to do what I had to do.
It's lucky and not. It took David Lee Roth said this shit on, I think it was Howard Stern. It was the best shit I ever heard. Because this is the guy who was the biggest and still probably one of the biggest stars in music history ever.
Yeah. Real rock star.
You know what he said? He goes, I ran into my old friend from high school, and his old friend goes to him, yo, man, same thing like we, yo, you lucky. You travel the world, man. You're so lucky, man. You got to do that. He goes, yo, I just didn't give up. You did.
Yeah.
It's a fact. He even goes, I had it rough. We had to work it. We weren't the best band. We weren't this. We just stuck it out. When we
might have been the best band, actually.
Exactly. And you know what? He goes, I just didn't quit. Yeah. And why we all got where we at? Because we had determination. And obviously, like it or not, you do something long enough, you get good at your craft. Even if
it doesn't even feel like work, though. It's just do what you do.
I agree.
They were gonna keep
people look like you worked hard. It's like I worked fun.
Yeah.
We didn't work hard. We worked fun. We worked hard, but we didn't even realize we were working for fun, But I remember one time going into a show, maybe it was CB's, I don't even remember, but it was like the early mid 80s. I go into a show and it's like some of the dudes from the Bad Brains and the Mob, and they're like sitting like in a little room, maybe the back of CB's. It could have been somewhere, I don't remember where it was, but I remember they were blasting Van Halen and all like rocking out. And I was like, these motherfuckers love Van Halen. I was like, that shit's awesome.
I could you not.
Yeah. No, it's true, and it's like it's crazy. We're lucky to do what we do.
Yeah, for sure.
But it is. It's hard, and like you said, you gotta want to play music.
Yes, and with all being said, you're 1,000,000,000% right with Craig, and what you say, we're lucky, and we did that. We're lazy, or whatever. But people gotta understand, because it wasn't work. We got lucky, but because to us, sleeping on a floor, we do it like nothing. But to other people, they won't do that once in their life. They do it once in their life, never again. They sleep in an airport once in their life, never again. They go, what I mean? To us, we paid our dues by doing that. And you know how else we paying our dues? We risked our lives for a moment like right now where we got to bite the fucking bullet. That we don't got no 401k. We don't got Nobody looking out for us. We knew this beforehand, but
everyone was going to college. We love
this shit so much.
No safety net.
We loved it so much that we decided to keep going through and say, hey, go for it. So we risk shit, in a way, but we're the type of dudes that we want to be in control of our own lives. So we're willing to do that.
And that's why this whole thing that's happening is so disheartening, because I want to be in control of my own life. I set my world up the way I wanted it, and I worked at it my whole life, and I don't want it just taken away from me, because I put my whole life into this, and this is who I am, and I was successful at it because it was genuine, and I need to do what I need to do, and I don't need anybody telling me how to do what I want to do. And I ain't saying anything super political there. I'm just saying I need to be me to survive.
Exactly. Because I got, we all got our own beliefs, and I got my own beliefs, and everybody could believe it.
I'm not even getting into that.
No, exactly. No, but I agree. That's why,
you read my lyrics, it tells you where I stand.
The hardcore dudes were the dudes. Punk was to destroy. Hardcore were the dudes to question and build. So motherfuckers out there, all you gotta do is question and think about rebuilding. That's all. If you do that,
way to put it.
The rest should be bullshit. It's just your whatever your own thing is about, how we rebuild this shit, and that's how it should be. But too much crazy shit in life. All we could, I'm taking it from every day forward, like almost like we're drug addicts. One day at a time. Let's see what happens.
Day at a time.
And
12 stepping.
But before we get out of here, Gallo.
Four stepping.
4 stepping. Before we get out of here, Gallo.
Before we get out of here, bass rules.
Bass is the best.
We know that.
Bass is like kneecaps when having sex.
Everybody loves a bass player, except for singers, guitar players, and drummers. Well, drummers
singers sleep on the bed. And but Gallo,
here's one question.
Great. I love that.
All right, go ahead.
A good one.
Anytime you ask a question, you ask, who's the coolest guy in the band? It's always the bass player, motherfucker. Yeah.
That's why they hate us so much.
No, and who's the dick in the band? The drummer. Drummers are the dick in the band. Look at Craig can't say shit because my God, the shock treatment on him.
It revolves.
Yeah.
They probably all think it's me,
No, but
I'm the bass player.
Yeah, look at it. But before we get out of Gallo, what's the deal? Let everybody know with your paintings, your art, and what's up with Agnostic Front.
Yeah, I guess we'll start with the band. Like I said, we're starting to write new music because we're home. What else are we gonna do? Miles, just keep it going. So we're working on new music. That's just it. We all live in different fucking states and shit, so we just send ideas to each other and just that. But I'm doing that, and then thank God, I'm doing the art thing. That's really been great for me. You can go on my Instagram, Mike Gallo 1975. I got a link. I sell mad shit from fucking
nice art.
Pillowcases, the paintings, the fucking
furniture,
or whatever. I do it all. I'm a hustler.
You got to put a turntable in the table.
Oh, look at that! Hey,
that one's on the house. On the house.
The house.
On the house. But yeah, so if anybody wants to get any paintings, anything, they hit you up on Instagram and they find all your info.
Yeah. Message me. And what's is cool is it's a personal thing with me, that's why people like it. They get to talk to me, and then a lot of times I create customs for them. They say, hey, one guy was like, hey, I'm a judo guy. I grew up in Brooklyn. I put a piece together for him, a collaboration of what he loves in life, and I bring it to life on a painting, So
nice.
it's personal, shit like that, you know what I mean?
That's
so
great.
I can connect with my fans. And
so basically, so AF, maybe hopefully it's some type of new songs in the future, maybe a reissue of the record when shit could possible.
Yeah. Right? Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Craig, what's up? Sick of it all? Or your own shit? I know you guys you be doing live streaming. What's the plan?
Yeah, we we're all champing at the bit to just get on a stage and tear it up, So as soon as promoters are willing to put on shows, we'll be out there playing like madmen. We're all working on material individually. We did a couple of like live re-recordings. We're talking about doing a virtual show, online show, and just like I said, champing at the bit to get out there and get busy again. That's about it. As far as me personally, I got a song. I got a cover recording band with Das. Robert Cheveria.
That's how saying you had another little project you were gonna put out.
Yeah, Armand and Craig Silverman. We did like we're going to talk about doing some covers with maybe some revolving musicians in that. That's been going slow because, everybody else is really busy. But I'm talking about doing that as well, just to keep it moving. And I'm thinking about setting up my barn as a boxing and fitness facility come the warm weather. I just have to weigh my options on how I want to spend money because it's a tough time now. You know what I mean? Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see. As far as shows go, I just want to play. We all want to play, I speak for my band and both of your bands when I say all we want to do is get out and play shows.
We just want to live.
It's get like back to the life that we
it's
love.
Like we're fish. Slip us back in the water. We just want to get to work.
I know.
We got to be in the water,
I agree. But yeah, definitely everybody out there. Again, Madball's still on it also. We're working on our 10th album. Everybody's grinding. I'm glad I was able to catch you guys. I'm glad Craig worked out his Wi-Fi.
It worked.
Now it works.
I just want to say that the three of us, we're all old friends, and the bands we're in and the people we all know, it's like one extended family. And I just want to put some love out to my former bandmates in Agnostic Front, as well as Mr. Gallo. And everybody in Madball who are an extension of that Agnostic Front. It's all a big family affair. And love to everybody, and thank you for having me.
We love you all, but especially the bass players, because this episode's all about that bass. But yo, I'm glad I got you guys on. I'm glad we got to break bread. I'll see you guys soon. We'll talk soon. This shit drops Thursday. I'm gonna send you guys the flyer.
I'll post that shit.
Gallo,
the Bass Mafia episode.
Yeah.
I got
the Bass Mafia episode.
I got 15 sheep and 3 goats for Gallo for the wedding. His daughter and my son. I offer my oldest son to his daughter. And Craig, we could do it on your farm. Free.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's free. Just bring me a sheep. Just bring me a sheep.
We're gonna bring
married him.
He's taking all my sheep. So you gotta talk to the pop. But yo, everybody, Smokin Word, and we out.
Later, yo. Peace.
Later. BM.
All right.